Hey, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I'm one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got Jamie the Great here.
Yeah.
We got DJ Optic here.
Yo.
Big shout out to our boy Never. Rest in peace, Never. Never forever. We're here in the heart of Las Vegas, and we got 3 special guests today. You know, first up, this guest is one of my favorite party rocking DJs. You know, we played together a few times at Tao Chicago. He's a masterful open format DJ with great mic presence. And in my personal opinion, he is one of the top DJs on Twitch right now. He rocks that Twitch stream like he's in front of like a 2,000 capacity nightclub. Mm-hmm. He makes it look effortless. I've been wanting him on the podcast for a minute. We got DJ Heavy here. Yo, DJ Heavy. Next up, we got a very talented DJ, technically one of the cleanest motherfuckers. You know, his cuts, blends. He has his own podcast, Party with Strategy. I think he's like 200 episodes deep. He's kind of known online as a disruptor. You know, he got brash takes on shit in the industry. He's made his name for himself in multiple cities, and I think he's back in his hometown of Chicago right now.
Yep.
But I linked up with him in Houston, and I actually owe this motherfucker an apology.
Ooh. Oh.
Because I had one of the worst, like, you know, when you're traveling, you're on the road, you just have one of those horrible weekends where like nothing's going right. You lose like your charger, you're sick. And I just so happened to like be doing a gig with him that night, and it was like probably the biggest nightmare of ever for him. And I was supposed to do his podcast, and I apologize. I never got to do your podcast, but we're honored to have him here. We have DJ Strategy in the building. And last but not least, this man needs no introduction, right? He's a DJ, Grammy Award winning producer, you know, songwriter, tastemaker behind countless projects, the sound architect behind some of Lady Gaga's biggest hits. Yes, Lady Gaga.
Yes.
I Love A Star Is Born, the Hello. You know, that's my shit. You know, we got the amazing DJ White Shadow.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so this is special because these 3 seasoned heavyweights in the DJ game have come together to form this new like super group. And this super group is debuting tonight in Las Vegas at Marquee. Mm-hmm. So let's welcome all 3 of these motherfuckers, Chi-Town's finest. They're called Disco-nect. Let's go. So yo, what's going on with this? I don't know, what is this? The super group right here.
What is threesome going on here?
What's going on? What's Disco-nect? What is this?
It's a long story.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long. Every story is a long story.
Let's hear it. I want to hear the long story. I want to hear the long version. Pause.
No pause. No pause on the long. The genesis of it, dog, is like I was throwing a party last year with Will Ferrell. Did you see this shit? So
wait, know Will Ferrell, right?
This is what I'm saying. It's a long story. I'm gonna give you like 20 tangents. Here we go.
Yo, White Shadow, you dropped something over there. You might want to pick it up.
What? Jesus. Oh, hold on.
Name drop. Hold up. If y'all don't know, White Shadow is like this. He owns a home in LA. He got like a home in Mexico.
Yeah,
he's like tapped in with celebrities.
102,000 on the low.
You know,
French Riviera.
I don't know. Yeah, someday.
Well, you're having dinner with Bradley Cooper and Will Ferrell.
Come on.
Bradley, I really think you should sing this note this way.
I can tell you some stories about that too. But no, I was doing this party with Will Ferrell. Will, I did the thing at the Greek in L.A.
Yeah,
Greek theater.
He did a comedy night. It was called Will Ferrell's Greatest Night Ever, and it was crazy, bro. Like the stars that came out for that thing, John Hamm, and like the podcast with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and all. You know, it was like a comedy thing, but he wanted to incorporate like a musical element. So we got to talking about it, and I was like, you know, people want to play, and it was a charity thing, but like everybody's on their schedule, and it was like kind of like after 2000 where people were kind of getting back to the money and missed out a year or two, so people were kind of hard to access. Mm-hmm. And so we were sitting around talking, and I was like, man, why don't you just do Boats and Hoes like with John C. Reilly? Like that's how you should open the show, because like everybody knows that cut. Like, I mean, like, that's a dream opener. You know what I'm saying? You should be the opener. And so we got to talking about it, and then we called Snoop, and Snoop was like, I'm in. And so then I was like, can we do like a blend of Boats and Hoes and gin and juice? And he was like, fuck yeah, right? And so we ended up opening the show. I made the whole mix, you know what I mean? Like the backtrack for it or whatever. And John came out and Will came out, and we had to have some like 22-year-old girl write the lyrics to Boats and Hoes on the teleprompter, which was like mad suspect.
Gotta have my boat and hoes.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really look at those words written down on a piece of paper, it's pretty next level, right?
Down to Santa Maria.
Yeah, exactly. When I come a quart, like, you know what I mean? Whatever they were writing down at that point. But like, so we do the show, it goes off, and he came up to me and he was like, yo, I want to do something like that's just fully musical the next time. Yeah. So I was like, we should do like a DJ thing, like do like a pseudo festival type joint.
Yeah.
So we got Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Swedish House Mafia. It was like the main whatever, D-Nice, A-Track. It was crazy. Like you know, Dallas Austin came and played, Junior Sanchez. It was like a really crazy show. And Will, like, you know, Will is like, yeah, he went into like character mode and was like up there. Governor of Illinois came up and like did a speech. It was nuts. But I booked it in like stages, right? Like, so the main stage and then like a room, and then there was like a Chicago house room and all these different spots. And so one of the stages was like local DJs that I appreciate as human beings. You know what I mean? Like really good, solid DJs, right? And Strategy's somebody that I've always watched and like thought he was dope. Same with Heavy. And he pulled me aside and he was like, yo, bro, this is the first time in my career I've ever felt like an artist. Wow. Treated like an artist, had a setup, like, you know what I mean? Names on a flyer, big people, like, and I mean, you can step in if you want to comment, but like, it really hit me at that point that somebody as good as Strategy, that was the first time he was feeling like an artist. Because I've been watching him thinking he was an artist since day one. You know what I'm saying? So like that mentality, I think, is something that everybody kind of wants to get to as a DJ. You want to feel like an artist. And I was like milling over in my head, like, why isn't this person an artist? Why don't they feel like an artist? So I was like, oh, we should start a project. Let's start a project that like makes sense. We'll produce our, you know, I'll show you the ropes on the production shit. We'll make some stuff and make a thing. And we landed on this disco thing because shit, man, I've been making disco stuff since, you know, 2000, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of the songs that you talked about earlier started off as disco track. I mean, Born This Way was a song by Carl Bean that was a disco song that we brought in, and I was like, this is a powerful message and we should try and do something like this, right? Like, so disco's always been something that I listened to when I was a kid because my parents listened to it or whatever and blah, blah. So I've always been on this thing, and for whatever reason, like this shit started popping off. Like disco just started popping off at the same time that we were kind of talking about it. So we started making some tracks, testing it out in like open format clubs to see if it worked. And I was like, fuck it, man, let's just take over a club. So I got these two together. We all built like a library of stuff that we thought, built a bunch of tracks that we made on our own, a bunch of edits, like whatever. And we started running this club night in Chicago at this club called Celeste. And it's got a disco room that wasn't disco at all before we took it over. It was like mega not disco. It was like super open format. Like I'd walk up there and it's like there's disco lights flashing and pictures of Grace Jones on the wall, and they'd be playing like Kid Cudi. And I'm like, oh, what? There's a problem here with this. So like we went in and we just started playing disco, and it's like one of the best nights in the city, period. I mean, it is the best night in the city, period. So then I was like, we got to take it on the road. Like, let's figure out how to get this thing into another market.
When was the first party at Celeste?
The first time we played there was December 22nd.
Yeah.
But the start date of the actual, like, this is when we're going to do it.
I think March.
March. Probably like March. A couple months of trying stuff out and like really going all in.
So y'all, like the first party, y'all were just fucking around and just having fun around December?
You know, it's like a comedian going into a basement before they play. You know what I mean? Like you're trying out different stuff. It's like, are people going to like more house stuff because it's Chicago? Or we mix it? Are we creating tracks that are more house? Are we just going to go straight, you know, I love the nightlife, you know, disco, or like how's it going to work? So like I think that there was a period of probably like 2 or 3 months where we were just throwing everything at the wall and trying to figure out what worked. And then taking it back to the lab, mixing it, remixing it, like putting different edits together just to see what the result would be.
How did you and Heavy link up?
This dude,
Grinder.
This is I mean, that, you know.
Adult friend finder.
What's Grinder?
Farmers only. Farmers only.
Sure, you have an elite membership.
But no, Heavy's from we came up like years and years and years ago. Like, I mean, like when I was first starting out, I went to college in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I started playing in Kalamazoo at all these parties. This dude was like right behind me after I left Kalamazoo. He was like the dude that followed at all my parties like then. So we've known of each other for a really long time. But like when he started playing in Chicago, like again, you know, you see people where you're like, why the fuck aren't you the best DJ on the planet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where it's like, holy shit, man, you're opening for somebody that's worse than you are consistently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On a very consistent basis.
And so it's like, yo, how do you remedy this situation?
Yeah.
And
You guys want to name any names?
No. Just
I mean, pick any influencer.
no, but honestly, that's part of like, I think the responsibility of people that have been in the game for a long time. You know what I mean? Like people that were crate carrying members of the DJ community that were out there doing it pre 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been around to see like what people should be doing and what they are doing and how they're doing it in this particular environment.
Hey, yo, roadies and roadies for life. You already know we rock heavy with DJ City. It's our go-to record pool to download the latest music, edits, and remixes for our DJ sets. Now, Road listeners can join DJ City for only $10.
Damn, only $10?
That's right. That's only $10. And that's almost 70% off the first month. So scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description or go to djcity.com/offer/road to jump on this great deal.
Right.
Well, do you remember, like you just said, like, you know, you see the DJs as artists.
Yeah.
But do you remember when you were a DJ and you didn't see yourself as an artist? Because I feel like a majority of DJs, especially these, like, you know, a heavy and like strategy.
Yeah.
I feel like, and the same way as me, man, I feel like we're aligned. I feel like a blue collar, like I feel like I'm a labor worker,
right,
to a certain degree.
No,
I know a labor worker would be like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But it's like we will do a 6 to 8 hour set with no bathroom breaks,
right,
and stand like to a certain degree. So you just kind of see yourself as a grinder.
Well,
not
listen,
to, you know, bring
the
it back
whole
to grind.
thing.
See how
brought it back around. But
do you remember when you were? Because I know you were a grinder, right?
So I love grinders and grinder, but I started off as an artist. So like when I was in Detroit, when I was a kid, that's what it was. Like we were making techno like every,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so the record pressing plant was in Detroit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Archer Records was in Detroit. So back then when you had a rolling keyboard set up with the ASRX and you had a DAT machine recorder, you pop that DAT out, walk down to Archer, give them the DAT, and they press you up an acetate that day.
Right.
You'd be able to play that night. It wasn't it's not Detroit Detroit's the greatest city for music, in my opinion, in history. You know what I mean? The Midwest is great, you know, house music,
there's a lot of
techno music, but
Motown,
Detroit, bro, like the culture there when I was growing up was like, if you weren't making records, you weren't. It's like kind of like now, right? But like that whole thing went away for a long time, where people were doing mashups or like doing whatever, and then like playing whatever. Like it wasn't like that when I was a kid. If you weren't behind a keyboard and a drum machine, like you weren't actually DJing, right? So you take those acetates to all the guys that work behind the counter at record time, give them to them, and they'd be like, "This is a record."
Yeah.
You go press up 1,000 copies. You'd sell the copies at record time for $14, and you take home $10. So when I was like 17, you'd make $10,000. If you sold 1,000 records, you make $10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, my dad had other opinions about the whole thing, but that's when I was like, oh, I can make some money, and that obviously has changed 55 times in the last 30 years or whatever. But like I saw it that way from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like production and whatever. And for a long time, DJs weren't producing much of anything. It wasn't like a collaborative thing, except for techno in Detroit, in Chicago with house.
I mean, DJs have always been kind of the foundation for music making for a lot of genres of music, hip hop and everything. And it just probably like in the 2000s, late 2000s, it started changing a little bit. I think it was shifting a little, right?
And I would say now what's crazy about the whole DJ artist thing is most of the DJs that are DJ artists aren't even making their own shit 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? So like the idea of an artist, when you're talking about Moody Man or Theo Parrish or Kevin Saunderson, Kenny Larkin, all these dudes that were back in the day, like working on drum machines and making their shit.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't necessarily translate to what a DJ artist is right now either. Like I know a lot of DJs that make their own shit, but I know a lot that don't.
Well, how do you guys feel now? Like, like Strategy, when you said that, was that a turning point, or is it just something that like hung over you? Like, because, maybe I'm speaking out of place calling us grinders and like, just like working, like kind of just working DJs,
No, I relate. I relate to that deeply. And I've seen this pod often and the way that you talk about like prostituting yourself out to a nightclub.
We're
You know what I'm
horse.
saying? You know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
That feeling I really have always related to, and that's how it felt. But when I said that to him, I really there wasn't a lot of weight behind it. It was just like a thank you, because I really felt like an artist, not in the sense of like I was up there doing art, but like I got picked up from the crib with my girlfriend in a black car, driven to the arena. I'm going in through the back. I get a pass.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting eating shitty free food with Henry Fong, like just in a in a conference room like this, and it was really dope. So I just said thank you for that. Like I've truly never felt that way before.
Is this approach like what you guys are doing right now, like heavy? Like, is this a completely different thing for you, right?
Oh, 100%. Because, like you said, I'm just the grinder, like I'm the guy who either sets up the big room or I headline when they blow the budget for the week and like, oh, we need a local guy to come headline.
Right.
I'm the guy, right? So like, it's always been like constantly just work. And like, like you said, you prostitute yourself out and,
How long you been DJing right now?
20 years.
20 years,
This
yeah.
year, since
2005?
2005, yeah.
Yeah.
05. I started right before Serato kind of popped. Because Serato came out, 07, 06?
05.
05? So I was like right before Serato. So I still had, vinyl and everything.
It's funny, like I met you through Tao Chicago, right? So I don't know how many times we DJ, a few times,
Twice,
right? Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
But like, it's very rare when I'm traveling to hear an opener, and then I think you closed after me, and then like I stuck around. I think I was on the mic with you.
Yeah.
We were like fucking around, like while you're DJing. But you remember like these DJs who are you're like, man, you shouldn't be opening. Like you should be headlining.
Yeah.
It's
I appreciate that.
No, I think you're one of those diamonds in the roughs, man. And putting 20 years when I saw this about you guys kind of joining together and doing this shit, I got really excited, especially for you, because I feel like you need a platform to really showcase your shit. Not trying to downplay any of you, I'm motherfuckers.
No,
but I just feel
I appreciate that. And the crazy thing is, I was telling everybody before White Shadow Paul. I'm gonna call him Paul.
Cool.
But before Paul hit us up, I was gonna be done DJing.
Really?
I was about to hang
Why?
it up.
That really hurt. That really breaks my heart, man.
Yeah,
I hear
man.
that shit,
I mean,
man.
Paul saved me, man. I got 2 kids.
Yeah,
I got a
yeah.
mortgage. I got a wife, and so it just got daunting arguing with fucking 20-year-olds who run the spot on why I should get paid more. And that's it's annoying, right? Because I'm dealing with people who either don't know my jacket, don't know what I've done, or it's like now I'm arguing hey, I should be getting paid. You shouldn't pay me the same amount that you're paying X DJ who's only been DJing 3 years that may have double the followers than me. But you put me in these rooms because I know how to navigate these rooms, right? Yeah. So after you just keep arguing with people and Paul's like, yo, you're one of the best DJs. I'm like, well, I'm fucking broke, dog. I can't even fucking really pay my bills. I'm trying to run payroll and I can't even fucking do that because it's I'm just getting. And I don't know, I don't want to put it on anything, but it's just it's what it is what it is,
Like working on this project and talking with White Shadow and strategy and stuff, do you feel like sometimes you get in this mentality of marginalizing yourself? Because
100%.
For 20 years you're like, this is the best I can be in these motherfuckers' eyes and these clubs' eyes. So I just need to stay in my place and just make my money, right?
And that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
And then, you get so tired of just running that race, and you're just constantly trying to gig. And now I'm fighting with other kids who are you know what I'm saying? You get older. I hit 40, I'm 41 now. So you hit 40 and you're just I got to fight with the fucking 25-year-old now. We got to share the same space as a 25-year-old who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I'm watching him just destroy murder this room, like not in a good way, just like,
Right.
you know, I'm
Clear
just
it
like,
out.
dog, this is terrible, man. You know,
How far were you from quitting from the call you got from White Shadow?
I gave it a year. I gave it a year.
So you were in the last
I was
year
in my
of it?
like, I'm like, this is my last year.
You're like dude from The Office, right? What's his name?
With a stapler.
Jim from
Krasinski.
The Office.
Yeah,
And
Jim
John-
from the office.
Jim.
His name is
John Krasinski.
Yeah,
Krasinski.
Krasinski
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, he like gave himself one more year in Hollywood, and then he got The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Not
And I-
saying that.
And I feel like
This is your office.
No pressure. No
No,
pressure.
it's not.
Dwight Schrute,
But
Michael Scott.
I think it's like one of those situations where like I've heard that many times, right? Like, yo, you're great, you're phenomenal, and like there's only so much you can hear of that, and like feel like, okay, well, if I'm so fucking great, why am I not in Vegas? Why am I not traveling and doing these other big things? Where I'm seeing like, you know, why am I not getting the call? You know, maybe and then maybe it's just like, you know, you start looking at your social media, like maybe my social media is not popping, and then you get in your head, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of the biggest problems I've noticed in the past like 5 years or more, maybe more, it's like the club operators that would look at the numbers and be like, "Yo, Heavy was here on a Saturday, and people will stay longer, and our liquor sales were up." They're not looking at that versus like we had like a guest DJ the Saturday before, and the numbers were down.
Yeah.
It's just like simple math where it's
simple
just like,
shit.
yo, like
But the more views on Instagram beats
I feel
liquor
like
sales.
like the online presence and online algorithm matters more to them than the actual bottle, like the actual sales to a certain degree. But I don't know, like
Yeah, but I don't even know if people are paying attention like that for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, of course the numbers matter, like when you're in a club.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many other outside factors that go into whatever. And when we started this disco thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this at the beginning. And when I went to the club owners and I said, these are the guys that we're going to put in, we're going to do this. And they were like, that thing. Like, well, what's their numbers on Instagram? What are their numbers on TikTok? Like, what's going on? I'm like, bro, we live in a time where that pendulum is swung so far to one side that if you just put somebody in who's good at their job, people are going to come back because there's everywhere else is whack as fuck in the city right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, instead of like going down the same trail, you know, choose the fork in the road that's actually going to take you to the you know, to the right spot. And so it's like, you've been running this game. You know, you can pick a pool of 30 dudes that have 10,000 followers or whatever, and they're going to bring in 500 people. But like, if the party sucks and there's a party next door that's a better party because there's better DJs and a better thing going on, it might not happen overnight, but it's going to happen. You know what I mean? You can feed people McDonald's all day, you know what I'm saying? But when they know there's a steak next door, they're going to go get the steak. If it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, eventually they figure it out, and it is what it is. And this room, bro, in Chicago now,
It's phenomenal.
man, just like night and day.
Really?
Night and day.
And then you
and the
have, like,
numbers are
yeah.
up like 25%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I pay attention to that. You know what I mean?
So how much of this is reactionary to what's going on in Chicago? Like, what's going on in Chicago? How is Chicago going?
I think it's the same thing as the rest of the planet, dog.
Right.
You know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like what were the rooms you're playing in like now versus what they were before 2020? You know what I mean?
But paint a picture for me. What's going on in Chicago?
It's the same exact thing
it's
that's
probably
going
the
on here,
same
dog.
thing, right?
Same
Yeah.
thing. It's the
Like-
same thing everywhere. Houston, fucking New York, Miami, it's the same shit. All of a sudden, you drop in 500 people into a room where there was only 2 people, and all 500 of those people have Shazammed your whole playlist and downloaded the whole playlist and go and play the same playlist. Some motherfucker that's worried about something completely different, you know, hears the same records and thinks it's the same thing. I could take a Picasso off the wall and pay somebody to repaint it somewhere else. It's not a Picasso. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, and if you don't know the difference between a Picasso and something that looks like a Picasso, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're not an art dealer, right? So now we got a bunch of people that are in charge that aren't art dealers anymore. They're not art dealers. They're copycats. And what happens when you have a bunch of copycats is they all just drop off one by one, and then people worry about like, oh, what happened? You know, these guys open up across the street. This guy's playing this. We got to play that. So it's like, remember back in the day, man? Like, people would be like, you open up a club, it was completely different than every other club. You put out a rapper on Interscope, it was completely different than any rapper on Interscope.
Yeah.
You put up a restaurant, it's completely different than any other restaurant on the block. Now it's like, this guy's selling tacos, I got to sell tacos, right? And so it's like, when that pendulum swings that far to the other side, there's an open lane on the other side of the road to do something that's correct, and you have to have the experience to know what that is.
Yeah, is there an oversaturation in the nightlife scene in Chicago of just too much open format, so that something like this, like a disco house scene, just
I can
shines.
agree to that. There's
Yeah.
way too much. I mean, there's a spot now that just shut down doing house music and EDM, and now they're open format. And I'm just like, man, you guys were
Really?
a pretty decent house spot. Like, why switch up? But
Because it's hard work. You understand what I'm saying? Work, getting paid requires doing hard work. It requires being innovative. It requires, the strength to stand. If Carl Cox would have started playing open format in the middle of when house music went down, we wouldn't give a shit about Carl Cox right now because he'd be a joker. He'd be a donkey, right? Mm-hmm. You got to stick to what you do and what you know and wait for that ring on the merry-go-round to come around again. But you know what I mean? You got to be patient.
So the interesting thing about, like, when I think of Chicago, I think of house, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is the identity of Chicago house or Chicago electronic dance music right now? Like, in Chicago, what is it?
what do you mean, like the identity?
Like, to me, like, where is the scene? Because to me, it's like tech house is really big, and then there's there's bass, there's everything. Like, everything's kind of just growing. There's different sections. New York is a little bit more vast. LA might be more centralized to like tech house. What is the identity in Chicago with like any dance music or house music? Because to me, it's the it's the epicenter of
there used to
Chicago.
be clubs,
Right.
That every night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every night was house music. Mark Farina's coming in,
Right.
Our man Van Helden's coming in. People are coming in doing a show. People are paying a ticket, going up and doing their thing. Right now, there's like a house night, or the house clubs have closed down completely. Like any given night, 15, 20 years ago, you could pick an artist at a different house club and go see that artist. Now it's like, if you want to hear real house music, it's like a night that happens somewhere.
When did that start happening in Chicago, though? Like, I feel like even like maybe as far back as like Paris, Studio Paris.
Yeah.
They even were they leaned a little bit more towards like a little bit of a house EDM kind of scene a little
Some
bit.
nights.
Sure, but
Yeah.
but like there were like Green Dolphin and Slicks and Red Dog, like these clubs, bro.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was 20 years old and I left from Detroit to come to Chicago, and Red Dog was on the second floor on the corner of Milwaukee and North Avenue.
What is this, like 90s, like late 90s?
No,
Like
2000,
2000s, yeah.
or something. And you would walk in, you'd have to walk up this big set of stairs, and as soon as you open the door, you're on a dance floor. There was like two dudes wrapped in saran wrap, some girl, you know what I mean? Like it was like just a full blown, a guy dressed up in a clown costume walking around the dance floor. It was like a sensory experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like it was like that in New York too. There was a lot of places in New York and Dumbo and like places you could go.
Yeah.
And now they're more like parties that happen.
Yeah.
Versus like the club is the institution. You know what I mean? Like if you went to Motor in Detroit, you weren't gonna hear some open format shit. You would, you know what I mean? There'd be like crazy stuff going on all the time in 3 different rooms of different genres, but it all kind of revolved around techno or house, Midwest shit, It's like, but now it's more of like a one-off thing that happens every once in a while because people haven't caught back up to the good feeling of what like house music and disco is.
Yeah.
People stopped dancing. People started showing out. The pictures were more important than the actual experience, and that's just like a cultural thing that's happened across the world.
Everybody.
To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that moment, you can either choose to follow that car down the highway, or you can get off at an exit, regroup, and take another route. You know what I mean? It may take you longer to get there. You might see a couple of monuments on the way versus being on a highway and looking at billboards. But when you get to the back on a highway, everybody respects you. Nobody has any questions about your intentions or like whether or not you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's many a time in the middle of a disco night where some dickhead walks in and they're like, play some Bad Bunny, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Which no disrespect to Bad Bunny, this shit is fire. But like people aren't used to being presented. You don't walk into a restaurant and order something off the fucking menu and it comes out and be like, yo, by the way, I'd also like to have a taco with my spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? It's like I came to an Italian restaurant. Right? It's like that kind of mentality, like I said, takes longer, has more downfalls. There's more pitfalls to it. There's more of a challenge. There's more of like you're opening yourself up to more liability, if you will, like ruining your shit. But like we talked about this extensively before we started it, right? Like this has to be the thing. You stick to the thing, and that's the thing. And if you stick to it and people respect it, it'll grow. And as it grows, you're gonna get far less requests for tacos at your Italian restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to come to see you. Nobody's standing up there asking John Summit to play Bad Bunny. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of thing takes a level of dedication and like long. You got to see the long road and not just chase the whatever's happening in the universe. You can't be a hip hop mix type DJ one day and the next day be an EDM artist. Nobody fucking understands that. Yeah. You know?
What's good, everyone? This is P-Dot from Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast. Whether you're just discovering the podcast or a day one listener, if you've been loving the content and want more, here's your chance to support the pod, get closer to the action, and unlock exclusive content by joining our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can join our Tier 1 R.O.A.D subscription. This is for our loyal listeners who want early access to new episodes 3 to 4 weeks ahead, your name in the credits of every video episode, and access to our exclusive R.O.A.D edits pack. For the hardcore supporters, we've got our Tier 2 R.O.A.D for Life subscription for just $10 a month. This is the all-in package. You'll get everything from Tier 1, plus a monthly bonus episode, early access to our exclusive R.O.A.D 10 and R.O.A.D Talk interviews, behind-the-scenes content, our In the Crate series, along with unreleased projects. This is your chance to support the podcast and get more of the content that you love. Join the family today at patreon.com/R.O.A.D podcast. Check the link in our descriptions. We appreciate you, and let's keep this journey going.
Strategy, how much of a difference was it when you went back to Chicago? Like when did you were in Houston for how long, and then when did you get back to Chicago?
I was in Houston for 3 years. I got back to Chicago October 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
And you saw immediate. I mean, obviously the two scenes are completely different, right? Houston to Chicago. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what brought you to Houston from Chicago?
It was 2020. Everything shut down. Right. No DJs are working.
Texas was open, right?
Texas.
Come on now.
So were you like, I'm either going to go to Arizona, Florida, or Texas?
Well, so me and Dolo had the opportunity to go open up Bottle Blonde Houston, which had been talked about a year plus before. They were trying to gather a little team from Chicago to send out there and open it up. It kept getting pushed back. And then out of nowhere, while everything else is shut down, they're like, we're opening. You guys want to go? And we're like, yeah, of course. There's literally no work here. So we went to Houston, and that's what brought us out there. I traveled back to Chicago like monthly, every other month, whatever, just always checking because I really didn't enjoy Houston that much. But there was work there. I was making money. I was doing something.
It's definitely like limited with the genres of music you could play, or am I wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's hard for me to really even judge because I went during their boom. That was like Houston's boom, you know? Like they're open, everyone else is closed, all businesses are going there. They're starting to open shit there and like explode, and then they very quickly plateaued. So
like a lot of the other states that it happened the same way.
Yeah.
So when you were there and it was booming, you're like, yo, I made the right decision. I came at the right time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then what was it? Hip hop everywhere? Was it like?
It was all hip hop, but it was like the classic, play some house music. It's too much hip hop. But first of all, they don't know what house music is. They think pop music is house music, and also, I'm like, if you want to play house music, you have to advertise that there's house music.
Right.
You can't.
Well, like the cheesiest white dude in Texas and Houston probably is gonna request Boozy anyway, right? They're gonna be like, "Yo, play some Boozy regardless."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what they want out there. I mean, they have like house spots and stuff, but where I was playing the open format spots, it's all hip hop.
Yeah. So then you come back to Chicago, Houston. You were just like, "Yo, this is not it. I didn't enjoy living here."
I didn't like it. I never felt like I fit in. I always just felt uncomfortable. I never was able to settle in and get comfortable.
You're going from city to country. So it's like it's small town.
I mean, Houston is technically a city. Yeah. I wouldn't call it a city.
It's not compared to Chicago.
You can't walk anywhere. The sidewalks just cut off and start somewhere else. It's like the wildest
city. From a big city to a small city. It's like when I came to Vegas from LA, I was like, oh fuck, it's two different worlds.
Houston's massive though, right? Isn't it like top 5
big? Yeah, it's like top 3.
It's huge, but it's not a city that Chicago and New York is a city.
Yeah. Big shout to Houston though. We're not.
gonna get a lot of hate, dog.
We're not shitting on you.
That's not what I came here to do. But it feels like that's what you want me to do. I'll do it if you want.
I'm not leading towards that.
Shouts out strip clubs in Houston.
I want to hear about like a DJ's experience of like like moving down south and then coming and going back to Chicago. And then what did you notice when you came back from Chicago? Like what was eye opening? You know, what was the change?
When I immediately came back, there wasn't like a thing that was like, oh my God, this is what I'm coming back for. Like nightlife's back. When I moved home, I was just ready to be home. I was done with Houston more than I was like feeling what was happening in Chicago. I feel like this summer in particular is the first summer where Chicago is back in the swing of rising up again.
Yeah, Chicago had kind of a rough, like Chicago nightlife kind of had a rough transition out of like the pandemic a little bit, right?
I feel like we did,
Absolutely.
yeah, because there was all types of goofy regulations. You know, it was only let so many people in, and then these people who aren't vaccinated got to wear a mask, and then there were secret parties going on all the time. It was a mess.
But from what I remember, I think going into the pandemic, Chicago was already kind of struggling with nightlife. Clubs were getting closed down. Things are being regulated as far as what music you can play where.
I mean, a little bit of that, but like, I mean, the pandemic killed nightlife
that was
for
just
sure.
I know, like, what at the time when the pandemic started, Tao Chicago was maybe the biggest club in Chicago. But then, like, after the pandemic, everything just kind of shifted a little bit, right?
I think by numbers, Tao still probably is.
It still is the biggest.
It still is the
club.
biggest. I just think that Tao succeeds really early. Like, they have a really early crowd, and I think the late night shit, you know, because Tao is open till 4 or 5 a.m., right?
God
and so
damn.
you'll see a huge drop off in numbers after 2, 3 o'clock. And before the pandemic, it was like, 3 o'clock, we're just fucking getting going. And you would turn on the lights and the place would still be packed. Same with Underground back in the day.
Yeah, it's like Chicago. People don't know, but like Miami is open till whenever, a couple spots. Chicago's open till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It always has been. So it's like when we used to be younger, go out to L.A. and play and turn on the lights at like 1:30. You're like, wait, what's happening
We're
right
just
now?
getting started.
Everybody just got here like a half hour ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to me
So-
that LA
so-
shuts down so early.
You know, like you said earlier about playing
Yeah.
8-hour sets, dog. Like that's how we all came up in that time. I think it's like it's a New York thing, it's a Miami thing, it's a Vegas thing, it's a Chicago thing. Playing an 8-hour set, it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going like just DJing at Paris and then after hours checking Phenom at Underground.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and that
Underground.
shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
turned up.
Back
and I
in
was
the
like,
day.
God damn, this scene is crazy out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And it's completely different.
It's getting
It's
back
getting
to the
there
2
now.
o'clock that people are pumping back up at like 2 o'clock.
Even with like the spot we're at now, Celeste, you know, Paul had came to us and said, "Hey guys, I'm noticing a little bit of a drop off in the numbers after 2 o'clock in sales. What do you think we can do to kind of keep people around?" So we threw some ideas out, and you know, I think what we've been doing has been really fucking phenomenal and been working, and we've been keeping that place busy a lot longer, and they've seen such a huge increase in sales.
That's great.
Just by just tailoring the music, you know. But I think after 2 o'clock, because we're still experimenting before, and like I was just playing like, you know, some like feel good funk and like, you know, just trying to like, you know, educate the people and like some different type of shit. And I feel like that was kind of losing the crowd a little bit. So then once we started tapering and honing in like what it is that Disco-nect is and what it is that we're doing, I feel like now Strategy can attest to this, that we keep that place pretty fucking busy all the way up until like 4 o'clock. That's
great.
know?
Because you got a different crowd coming in at 10 o'clock that's going home at 2.
For sure.
People that are coming out at midnight and want to turn up at 2 o'clock, the difference is, for me personally, simply in the lighting. Honestly. Like, because back in the day, like even the Red Dog thing, like it was dark, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like now people are spending $1 quadrillion on because they watch Tomorrowland or whatever's happening at you know. It's like, we got to have this monster ass light that flashes in everybody's face all night long. It's like, turn those motherfuckers off at 2 o'clock, man. People are coming here to get
Weird.
Freaky,
Yeah.
get
Get weird.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, but that's what partying is supposed to be, dog. It's
Yeah.
a escape from your average everyday, whatever you're doing on the regular day. You want to get out there and do your thing, and it's like, I'm not trying to be in the middle of a fucking festival at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, turn these motherfucking lights off so I can get I can get, you know what I mean? Get my groove on, whatever's popping.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like that's what's missing in like nightlife. It's just that dark room.
Yeah.
It's just that, just kind of like that underground feeling at nighttime.
And
like,
dancing, dog. People want to dance.
Yep.
and just like there's so much lights. Everything's so bright. Everyone has their camera shit on, and it's just so crazy nowadays. But like, I just loved just going to like in New York, just going to like a downstairs hip hop party.
Yeah.
And it was like no fucking lights. It was like pitch dark.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers like lighting a blunt in the corner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just like, and you connect with motherfuckers, and it's just crazy. It's just like, it should be kind of like mysterious and like
100%. That's what it's
and
about.
raw.
That's
and
what it's
shit.
always been about, dog. Like when they were having juke joints, like, you know what I mean, playing rock and roll, they weren't like flashing a light in your motherfucking face while you were out there trying to dance with somebody or whatever.
So let me know your musical approach of how you approach a night from like 10 to 4. So like you're saying the crowd is different from like 10 to 12ish, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys play?
So
like,
more.
Were you gonna just give him the sauce like that?
No,
You
I'm not
ready?
gonna-
Go ahead.
It's a general idea.
I'm fucking around.
It's a general idea.
Yeah.
In my mind,
Because you're gonna get like in my head, I'm thinking like an older crowd is gonna come earlier and they want to hear like the disco classics.
it's not even an older crowd. It's not an older crowd.
Okay.
But like I think when people get to a place, they want recognizable things.
Right. Mhm.
Right. So at the beginning, if you're hitting them with a disco remix of the Percolator by Cashmere, everybody's like, "What the fuck is popping off right now?" You know what I mean? Like that, you save that for after 2 o'clock.
That's a perfect 3 a.m.
Yeah,
2:30
but
bang,
but by that time you're sauced up, you're juiced up, you're feeling good about yourself, sweating a little bit, like that's what it is. But at the beginning, we're doing like, you know, a disco remix of a song that's not supposed to be disco, but that people understand, right? Like so, it's like let me take this pop song that everybody knows the words to, Nokia by Drake, right? And if I play Nokia by Drake in the middle of the night in an open format place, everybody knows the words, they're saying whatever, blah, blah, blah. If I put a disco track to that, people are dancing to it, but they still know the words to the song, right? Like they don't feel like they got to post up on the back of a couch with a bottle in front of them singing the words to whoever's the 5 dudes they brought with them. You know what I mean? Like post up like they're in the front seat of a Nissan Altima playing, you know what I mean? Whatever. It's like we're giving recognizability at the same time giving like, hey, we're about to make you motherfuckers dance.
Yes.
Right? Like so it's not about like, hey, I'm gonna play the new blank song because it's like the hottest thing on TikTok right now. I'm gonna play you like Funky Town, right? But not the original Funky Town. If I'm playing Funky Town, it's gonna fucking pound, right? And you're gonna hear it. It's gonna be dirty. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning, we're not playing Funky Town to you. I'm playing you a, you know, whatever.
Natasha Bedingfield, like a remix of that, because we get a lot of
Bachelorettes.
bachelorette parties that come in. So, you know, brides to be coming in, and then a little bit older, but it's not the typical old crowd, you know.
But there are old people there too, which is dope.
Which is fucking
which I
great.
love.
So it's like finding. I so many times I've had like a couple like come into the club. Like, you know, I was a guy from Ohio with this old lady and they're visiting Chicago and they fucking Google like, where can we go dance?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not, we're not posting like on the internet or paying Google like ad search to like say this is a disco, right?
Yeah.
Like they're literally like people talking about it. So when you Google it, it's like Instagram's like, where's the disco? Here's a clip of it or whatever, blah, blah. And so people see that. And so many times, dog, I've walked around the room and there's like an old guy and his wife like bobbing their heads to like something, you know what I mean? That the young kids are dancing to too, because the recognizability falls on both sides of the coin.
Right,
you see what I'm
right.
saying? So you're not offended if you're 50 years old. You're not offended by a Drake song because there's a fucking, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire song playing underneath of it or something. You know what I mean?
right.
Type song playing underneath it.
And then even like the newer edits, they still have that kind of funky boogie feel that like a disco thing,
Sure.
like a disco song would have, pretty much.
And it's not just pumping in your face like 4 on the floor the whole night.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's got a groove and a rhythm to it where there's a funky bass line, there's a groove and a rhythm to it, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about with the whole changeover. Clubs stopped being fun. So people felt like they had to go to clubs until they were like, this ain't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And then they stopped going. And then people are like, why are they not coming anymore? Because, I don't know one person in my personal circle that wants to go to a club with a fucking bottle sitting in the middle of them and look at some person across the, you know what I mean? Like, and just be like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
you know what I
made
mean? play the new fucking Sexy Red song or whatever. It's like, come on, man. Like all this 85 BPM. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, it's whacked. You can't dance to that shit. It's like, you know what I mean?
I love an 85 BPM song.
I
get that. I get what you're saying.
I'm not shitting on any of it. I'm not shitting on any of it.
I love the young jock.
What I love about like San Francisco, like Motown on a Monday in San Francisco, I'll go to like their Monday party and there's like literally all ages there. There's like no ageism.
Right.
And it's just everyone is like dancing, and older people are dancing with younger people. They're just having a ball. They just meet. They're doing shots together. They're drinking together.
That's what it's supposed to be like.
That's the energy, yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Or like compact disco, or like, you know, any of these parties that have kind of like popped up.
Right.
It's popping up out of a need. You understand what I'm saying? It's a need. And it's like, who's willing to take that on as a thing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's tough to make changes. You know what I'm saying? Like for a club owner or for somebody that's a DJ, it's like you were just saying earlier, do I quit doing what I'm doing to do what's right and take a risk that nobody's going to want to hire me or like do whatever? That's a tough decision to make. But I've never seen it fail. If you truly believe in something and you put all you have into that idea and you work that idea, I've never seen it fail.
When you went to the venue, Celeste, what was the convincing argument that sold them to open their doors for, you know, for Disco-nect?
So it was a little bit easier than that, because when I came to Chicago from Detroit, Arturo Gomez, who I've known since we were 18 years old, he's from Michigan too. He took over the Dragon Room. You know, I don't know how much you know about the Chicago nightlife back in the day, but the Dragon Room, Circus, Biology Bar, like that Dragon Room was where like Kanye and Common and all the Twista and all the hip hop guys, anytime a hip hop thing was in town, it was there. Right? And it was like a cool ass hip hop club. So Artie was running all those places. That was the first place I DJ'd, like when I came back to Chicago. And so I started working there. And then when they opened up Le Passage, they hired me to run the music, and it was the best night in town because we were doing weirdo shit. I was playing like the theme to Revenge of the Nerds and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were just doing weirdo shit. And it was like everybody wanted to be a part of that vibe. So when Underground opened, Artie called me and I ran all music in that, hired all the DJs, put the fucking program together. Nobody play this, everybody play this. I know you want to play this, but play this instead. And that club popped off. So when Arturo got back into wanting to do a club, he went to Celeste. And he called me and said, what can we do here that's different? So it kind of was like a bunch of Tetris pieces falling down in the same thing.
Wow.
Like, so we were talking about it. I was looking for a home for it. Just coincidentally, Artie called me and was like, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to do part of it? I'm like, yeah, I want to do part of it. This is what we should do. And this is how it happened.
So you guys are putting edits together? You're making your own edits?
Man, I would say like at a regular night, 50% of the shit is like either our own edits. Like if you're walking in with the Shazam, you're not gonna get it, right?
That
and
sucks.
So
wait, who's some of the editors that you play that have been like perfect, have been like the perfect soundtrack to this party y'all doing?
I mean, I like Redfield, Kick Save, Cupid. Some of these guys, they're younger guys, but they're I think they understand that disco house is like the next wave, right? And they're getting ahead of it. And I really believe that. And now you see a lot of guys now, like some of these big guys that are playing Tomorrowland, and Dombresky, he's changed his name to Disco Dom, and he's doing disco now, and he's drawing a crowd. And like, I think it's a change in like what Paul said, just the fun factor.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm having the most fun in my life that I've ever had playing disco music.
It's the best.
It's the best. It's the best feeling. I don't know how you can hate on it, right? It's like the lyrics are positive, the beat makes you happy, and you're dancing, you're singing, and then you walk out and you don't feel like, when I would play hip hop, it was just like, it just feels like I got to go home. I don't want to listen to music. I got to decompress.
You're driving in silence.
Yeah,
like
you're driving in silence. It's just like I've listened to people rap about killing for about 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, play Sheck West like right now. Like after you're done, you're like mad antsy.
Yeah,
The anxiety's
and that's not like the vibe. That should not be the vibe
It's
when
like
you're
scary
going to party.
masculine energy,
right? Like a ton of like hard leg.
Like
shit.
you're about to UFC fight,
right? Exactly.
That's the vibe.
And there was a point for whatever reason, that's what it seemed like. Everybody had like walkout songs. The whole club was like boxer walkout songs the whole night.
Opening up a room. Yeah.
Fucking Future and Metro Boomin
Right.
that one song.
And that shit is dope. Again, I'm not shitting on the 65, 85, whatever, 90 tempo. But but back in the day, like which is a lot of people are playing this shit in Vegas. Every time I come to Vegas, I feel like I'm getting time warped back to what I was playing in like 2008.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like
Nostalgia
Jennifer
too.
Lopez and DMX and like whatever. It's
Roscoe
like
Dash.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He keeps coming up.
Yeah, it's crazy to like think that like there was this big ass wave where things separated so much, right? Like where it's either you're busting like 125 BPM or you're busting at like 85 BPM, right? And it's like,
Yeah,
maybe someone's knocking. Who is that? The cops?
That's Sheck West.
Yeah, it's
It's our manager, Peds.
That's fun. Oh, what's up?
The boy.
Peds.
He's in the building.
He's here.
What's up, champ?
Yeah, bro. My bad, dog.
He's in the building.
I had my shit on Do Not Disturb. I just looked out, like, open the door. I'm like, oh, shit.
But no, it's like there was a rift that like occurred that like people just wanted to go one way or another.
Yeah.
The thing, and
I think there's also a lack of innovation and creativity in almost all the genres. I was talking with one of my boys, and it was just kind of like in America, everyone's so fixated on American music, but American music isn't really innovating in any way.
Not at all.
And it's like there's all these other genres.
Yeah, but people want to feel like they're not getting fed, right? Like you're not. Everybody thinks like, oh man, it's independent, and like I got all this music at the palm of my hands, and I don't have to listen to the radio to the 10 songs that they're playing on the radio. But Spotify's doing the same exact shit to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like YouTube's doing the same shit to you. Whatever music platform you're listening to, they're feeding you, right? And so it's like when you go and you hear a song that you like, it's feeding you 10 other songs that sound like that song.
Yeah.
So then the labels respond to that by putting out another 10 songs that sound like that song, right? And then pushing those songs to go back into the feeding. So this big ass loop.
Just copying copies of copies
right,
of copies.
That happens over and over again. So back when we were doing stuff, it was like, you know, Timberland was like all going crazy, like trying to come up with as much crazy stuff as he possibly could that separated him from Swiss Beats, who was trying to come up with the crazy stuff. And it was separated him from Pharrell, who was trying to come up with the crazy stuff. Now it's like Big X the Plug puts out a song and then 20 other motherfuckers put out a Big X the Plug song.
Yeah.
Right? And they're feeding it to you. So like, what are you doing as a DJ? Right? When we were DJs, I was trying to shock the shit out of people. Right?
Yes.
Like I wanted to play Careless Whisper into whatever I could fit hip hop into, you know what I mean? Like whatever it was.
Yes.
So like that, you know what I mean? That was the idea. Now it's like these young kids, they get a playlist. They got a bunch of people that want to hear that playlist, and then they go play that playlist. So like these DJs that Heavy was talking about earlier, that come up and you're fighting with this 25-year-old, that's a fucking jukebox. That's not a DJ. You got to fucking play. You got a computer sitting in front of you with a bunch of songs, and you pick them off the fucking thing and push a button the same way you go up to a Touch Tunes with $1. You understand what I'm saying? So like now, this whole thing isn't about shocking you with one song and then playing a disco song after and then playing a house song after. It's how do you put all that shit together and make an original product, right? The colors are the same, bro. It's yellow, red, and blue. Those are the same colors you paint an entire canvas with. You know what I mean? Out of those 3 colors, you can make a fucking rainbow.
You know what's funny? About a year ago, I was DJing On the Record in the back in the bus, and I was playing a lot of like dance music and a lot of disco. And you walked in, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And you're like, "Do you not think I want to hear Tragedy by the Bee Gees?" And I was like, "You're playing Tragedy by the Bee Gees." I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "I'm like, you could go anywhere in the city. It's like down the strip, everybody's there." You're like, "Yeah, but you're playing that good shit."
That's right.
So you've been about this whole thing for quite some time now.
Man, since I was 2. You know what I'm saying?
No, but the way you're like saying that people are playing everything the same, but you want to hear something different by the DJs.
Right.
So you've been about this shit. So when you put this collective together, you kind of already had the idea for quite some time.
But bro, look at all the DJs that you look up to. Look at AM.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Fucking one of the greatest of all time. He took those 3 colors and created a whole entire new thing for everybody to follow.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And Z-Trip or you know what I mean? Like anybody that's great, even the guys that like, you know, Felix the House Cat. You know, if you go to a Felix show, bro, the music is so innovative and so crazy, and you can dance the whole time to it. That dude's a genius. He's been doing the same thing for fucking 30 years. You understand what I'm saying? And it's always innovative and genius.
Yeah, it's more of a mentality. Like the way they come at it is that's their approach. But I think, can I ask strategy, like, so going back to the Will Ferrell party, you play this party, it's just like amazing moment for you, and he's like, what happens immediately after that? Are you like, okay, that was a one-off, that was cool, let's get back to working? Like,
yeah, I wasn't like, this changed my life in any way.
Yeah.
You know, it was an awesome experience, but then, yeah, I just continued to do my residency at the club I was at in Chicago, play all the other spots I had.
Yeah.
And
well, that's how it's kind of, is that how it is right now? You guys have this amazing, Disco-nect party at Celeste, and then it's like, but you still got to kind of like keep rotating the residencies, or you're not doing any of that
Not
shit?
at all.
no, we left everything.
Paul sat us down and said, if you're here, you're only here.
wow.
Interesting.
Which was scary as fuck for us. Because
No, but
It was-
also
yeah, you
I'm
jumped
going to
in.
add an addendum to that. I said, how much are you getting paid?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's your week look like? How many clubs you got to go to earn that amount of money? You got to play from 11 to 2 and sit there and watch some dumb motherfucker play for like 2 hours, and, and then close back up again. Stop wasting your fucking time. I was like, if you're making $600, we're gonna fucking make that $1,200 and just never. We're gonna build this motherfucker in this room.
So you doubled down. Yeah.
So he doubled down, and he's been. It's been. Up until now, it's still been good. He's been true to his promise.
So if, like, a DJ listening to this right now is gonna ask, how are you guys supplementing this income? Is the Celeste party every week?
We're playing Celeste 4 days a week.
4 days a week? Oh wow!
But
Nice.
so the difference is between Celeste and a lot of other clubs is Celeste is 4 separate floors, and every floor is a different vibe. So when we're playing, we're playing a Wednesday party on the second floor, right, which is more like a Soho House type of vibe, and we're playing like really cool indie dance, just really cool shit, remixy cool shit in there, right? It's totally different than disco.
It's more vibes, right?
More vibes. And then on Thursdays, we're playing the Garden, which is all the way upstairs, and it's like a room, dark room that's like looks like Tulum. Is covered in plants, and we're playing like tech house.
The roof opens.
The roof opens up, and we're playing tech house.
That sounds
right.
fun.
And then Friday and Saturday is our Disco-nect party, which is on the third floor, which is all disco. So, within one club, we're literally playing 3 different types of genres, and it's helped.
Right.
It's helped out.
It's a dream come true.
It is.
Absolutely.
It
It's
really
crazy.
is. Yeah.
So it's basically White Shadow. You have this opportunity to curate a whole club on every night, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna hire a team of dependable DJs and to become kind of
It's
like.
not just dependable DJs.
Right.
These guys are the best fucking DJs that
I
you
agree,
understand
I
what I'm
agree,
saying?
I agree.
And so
You don't have to argue with me
I'm
about
not
that.
arguing. No. I'm not arguing. It's zero argument.
Don't fucking yell at me.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
He doesn't say anything half-assed. You don't say anything
You
partially.
motherfucker.
No.
With his chest every time.
No, but no, it's honestly, it's like when you have an undervalued product, all you gotta do is put the value to the product.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So the question you asked was, you have the opportunity to put in DJs in all these spots.
Yeah.
Again, the fight from the management on that was, we have all these dudes that are in there and they're bringing in people. I was like, well, why do you need me then? What function do I serve? And they were like, well, we need you to like tell these guys what to do. I was like, I'm not trying to teach a dog how to be a horse. You understand what I'm saying? If we're running a horse race, I'm not trying to teach a
If he's a greyhound, he has a chance.
No, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's a dog race and there's a horse race.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to walk in and teach these dogs that you got already doing what they're doing how to be horses. I'm gonna fucking hire horses. I'm gonna hire people that have the potential to be a horse. And then we're gonna run a race. Stallion.
I'm juiced up right now. I don't know about you guys. Every time this motherfucker talks, bro, I'm
brick
ready.
wall right now. Let's go.
I'm ready, bro.
Do some fucking push-ups.
Who needs drugs with this motherfucker?
I'm like, every time I ask him a question, he starts yelling at me.
I need to bring my girl in
what'd
here
you have
because
for
she gets
breakfast?
so
She's like-
mad at me because I'm so passionate about shit when I talk. I'll be like, she'll be like, hey, we need to go to the store. I'll be like, you know what? We need to go do this and this and this first. And she'll be like, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, no, I just wanted to get the schedule on there.
Stop
that big of a
Virgo.
deal.
Stop Virgo in here, bro.
Whole Foods is corporate. I'm not fucking with
Yeah. Did you see the parking lot out there?
So the energy of the city, Chicago, they've just been like, this has been a breath of fresh air for everything.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
bro.
for
The
sure.
experience of walking into a room and getting a product and like everything is cohesive. The
Yeah.
walls match the music, match the lights, match the vibe, match everything that's happening in there. And you feel like you're getting something. You're not just walking into some nightclub that's been open forever, that's got the same lights spinning around and different DJs playing different shit. There's no real direction. Like, people feel that nowadays.
Yeah.
And so, well, go ahead.
No, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't- No, but you remember back in the day, like when we were coming up, you would have a club that was your club.
Yeah.
Crooked played multiple days at the same club. The crowd came in, they knew you knew them.
Jet
Like there's a
Mondays, yeah.
repeat offenders that would come to the club every week, and you knew what they wanted to play, and you
Right.
built up a repertoire like a family. And that just doesn't happen anymore because people book 3 different DJs every fucking night, and there's no consistency or quality control
Right.
to the whole environment. The walls of the club and the floor of the club and the seating in the club and the servers at the club make a difference. It's a one cohesive organism.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you have 3 different chefs cooking different meals 4 nights a week. You understand what I'm saying? Just to book the people in hopes that they bring 10 people, they bring 50 people, they bring 100 people, and they stick around all night. Does that make sense?
No, of course it does.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about it many, many times.
Yeah, sure.
Like, especially like coming to Vegas, I don't know. People are like, where should I go? It's Saturday night. I'm like, I really don't know who the fuck
Yeah.
is DJing where.
Right.
And I don't know if they're all of a sudden doing an EDM night.
Right.
Or if they're doing this night.
Right.
I don't. And they're like, what about during the week? I'm like, I have no fucking idea
Right.
what's going on in the week.
Right.
But if I go to New York, Tuesday will be like an R&B party in Brooklyn.
Right.
You'll have Mark Ronson and DJ Spinner on a Wednesday.
Yep.
You'll have like Thursday, Snips on a vinyl doing like 2000s throwback hip hop.
Yep.
Like there's an identity to each night. And in Vegas, I have no fucking idea except for the fact like, you want hip hop? Go to Dre's.
Right.
Because I have no idea
That's the only thing.
That's
what
like
this venue's gonna play.
constant.
I don't know if they're gonna be 70% EDM and like 20% hip hop and 10% Latin. Or I don't know if like Latin Grammys is in town and they're like, we're 60% Latin tonight, and
Yeah.
it's just there's no identity for anything.
Well,
Right
you
now.
guys are playing tonight at one of the few rooms that has an identity, right?
Right.
Yes.
So like,
Yeah.
how'd you guys get hooked up with playing at the library at Marquee?
Grinder.
It all goes back to Grindr.
This
No.
episode is brought to you by Grindr. You sign up now, you put Shadow.
Yeah.
in the coupon.
I don't think people understand how cool that room is and
Yeah.
how unique it is to
Yeah.
the
Really
city and what Lima and
Shouts to Lima.
Well, shout to
Yeah,
DJ
yeah.
Lima. You
Yeah.
know, DJ Lima is like, I've known DJ Lima for like over 15 years.
Yeah.
Back when he was an open format DJ, but he's obviously a house DJ.
That's
Yeah.
impossible to
But
imagine.
when you're in Vegas, I know. But like, I mean, when you're in Vegas, you have to like accommodate, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Right.
pour out.
So, but he's just one of those dudes with impeccable taste
Yeah.
and timing, and he just knows how to play a house record, and he just kind of educates the crowd while entertaining them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been doing this Wednesday party at Marquee in the library for I don't know how many years now.
Low keys. I mean,
How
Yeah,
many
low-key.
years has it been?
I don't know. That's the
Over
drum.
8? I don't know. No, did it start in the pandemic? So he's been doing like 5 years.
Yeah,
right?
so hit 5.
Yeah, he's been doing around 5 years.
Yeah.
But he wants this specifically to just be like a house room.
Yeah.
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 And
Like,
it is.
Yeah.
That's again what I'm saying, right?
That consistency.
Consistency, sticking with the product, knowing what it is, and you have to be. Lima's a genius. He's a
great.
genius. That dude to me is poised to be one of the greats. Like it's just he's one step away from figuring it out, and curating that room and having that room go nowadays more than 2 months. But like
Yeah.
I mean, he's had that room for a minute, and people love it, and they go up there. I've been up there a bunch of times with other special guests, and they stick to the thing. It's cool, and like when we, Padram asked us to come out. And the first thing I said was like, we got to do it in the library. That's the place because it feels right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels sexy.
Yeah.
It feels dark. It's
Yeah.
not all that major production that you're talking about. There's not like 1,000 lights in your eyes.
Right.
It feels like you could stay there for 5 hours and get weird.
You walk in and
Yeah.
it's a party.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, at the end of the day, there is room for education. There's room for trying new things. There's room for, you know what I'm saying? Like sticking to a format and not having somebody walk up and stick a Bad Bunny iPhone in your face.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Please do. Please do.
How are you organizing the night? Like who starts, who goes second, who goes third, and then are you just going,
No, we kind of just like whatever happens, happens.
Really?
Yeah, it's just kind of a vibe.
But we have like for me,
so everyone's there from open to close.
Yeah, man.
Really?
And that's the same in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
So on Fridays and Saturdays when y'all are DJing together,
9 a.m. to 4 a.m.
and
bro.
it's Disco-nect Friday, Disco-nect Saturdays.
Right.
You guys are there from open to close.
Open
I'm
to
there
close.
at 9 p.m., brother.
Yeah.
Who's the one who doesn't want to get off? That's hogging the
No,
decks. Let me get one more.
One more.
We usually no, that's crazy.
There's always one.
We operate from a shared body of music.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So like at the beginning, when we were talking about this, I put a folder together of like, I don't know, 500 songs. And I was like, let's go through this and decide what all three of us like. You know what I mean? And like put that in one folder. And let's decide what you like and decide what you like. And like, let's figure out if we got some common ground on teaching each other some things. And then rather than build it as like, hey, Heavy's going to play for a minute, Strategy's going to play for a minute, Paul's going to come in and act like an asshole for a minute. like it's a body of work that we all like kind of draw
one
from.
USB?
One USB?
Yeah, one USB, baby.
Wow.
That's it.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So we don't operate as a three-headed monster. You know what I'm saying? It's not three monsters, it's a three-headed monster. Yeah.
That's interesting. So was this like strategized in your head, or like is this like a back and forth?
No, I mean
because you look like you're approaching this like you're developing an artist, producing an album, and putting something together.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
So are you guys gonna try to release original shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have 90 songs that I've put together. 90 songs.
So what's the like? It's we're heading towards third quarter, fourth quarter. What is your plan for the rest of this year, in your eyes?
I don't think that anything that happens quickly. Anything good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that good, fast, or cheap theory.
Yeah.
It's either good and fast and it's not cheap, or it's cheap and fast and it's not good. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like for us, we've been very deliberate with the motion going forward. Let's test this out at home. Let's test it out a couple nights. Let's build a whole night, make adjustments, run it for a little while, watch it grow. Once it grows, let's take it to another garden, plant something else, see what happens, and then build and build and build and build to where we want to be eventually, which is releasing music on a regular basis. So like as we're doing this, I'm producing like a ton of stuff, right? Some of it might be complete trash by the time we get to the point that it is what it is, but like we all know our kind of role,
What is the roles? Break it down. I'm curious.
So they're not like assigned roles. It just kind of like fell into place.
Yeah,
so like we do a radio show on Sirius, right?
Okay.
Like and so Strategy kind of mans that up. We feed new music in. We decide what the changes are going to be. Blah blah. Heavy does a lot of the editing, and I do a lot of the original production. So it's like we can get those three lanes going at the same time, and we're bouncing off each other rather than being siloed off, like thinking, you know what I mean? Like sometimes he'll make an edit and I'll be like, yeah. And sometimes he makes an edit, I'm like, fuck, we shouldn't even use this as an edit. Like we need to make something that sounds like this. So then like I'll go make 2 or 3 tracks that kind of fit in that zone, and then go find write a song to it. You know what I'm saying? So like that we have the ammo in the cannon ready to rock for when we get to the next step. When the step we're working on feels good and we feel like we can progress forward, like that's the way we've kind of been handling it.
So for the end of this year, obviously, like you coming to Vegas, what is that to you? Is it a test to see how this does outside of the city, or you want to see how it does specifically in the library at Marquee for that crowd?
I think it's one and the same.
Okay.
Right? It's like we know it works in this particular room, right? And so it's like when I send songs off to like these guys, I might be sitting in my house, like, you know what I mean, in the studio in my house, like playing something like, shit, this is hitting. And then they get it and they put it in a set at the club, and it's like, it's not that great. It's the same kind of thing with what we're doing at the library. And again, to Pedro, like, thank you for having us. You know what I mean? He came to Chicago and during Lollapalooza, watched us do the whole thing in Chicago, and saw the vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we've been talking about it for months, but like the whole thing is that like you have to take steps in a direction. I wouldn't call Peds and be like, yo, put us at the pool you know what I mean, on the 4th of July weekend, let's try disco, like in the middle of, between Chris Lake and you know whoever else is playing.
Well, I think the library is smart, right?
Yeah.
Because you're playing for a bunch of music lovers, right? And then you're not dependent on bringing any type of like major ticket sales or anything. That's
again,
you don't need to generate. You just need to just like kind of deliver, which is deliver a great performance or like a great set.
And listen, we have a full possibility of fucking this whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like at the end of the day, I think that we have enough, like kind of, basement in the house that we know enough of the basement of the house that we can now start building the living room a little bit. You know,
really quick, all three of you guys, what's your biggest goal and what's your biggest fear about this whole thing, this whole project, this you guys coming together, strategy?
My biggest goal is to remain doing something like this that's outside of the current open format lane that I've been in my entire career. Mm-hmm. This feels so good. This is like, I've had multiple people tell me they've never seen me look happier while I'm DJing. Like, I've never DJed for a dance floor before. DJing dance music for a dance floor is new to me, and it's the most exciting and fun thing ever.
And is White Shadow letting you do your thing, like doing some scratches in there and
absolutely,
fucking around?
Yeah. I'm on sticks now. I got the stick delusion. I'm trying to learn how to cut on a stick a little bit better.
There you go.
So I'm doing that. And the biggest fear that I have, there's not a lot of fear because like I've already, if this ended tomorrow, I've learned so much. It's like it's insane how much I've taken in and been able to implement that I could just continue in my life. So I really don't have much fear.
It's funny when I speak to a lot of open format DJs, their biggest fear, especially as they're getting older, they don't want to lose that ability to read a room and know exactly what to play. But in order to have that, you have to constantly be in the streets.
Yeah. And
then you have to take gigs that, like I practice all the time. I take gigs that are like, but it's more practice.
Pedram, don't even think about it. My man's still in the case, okay?
So no, but like I just do that for practice, and I won't even advertise it. I won't even promote it. But inside of me, I just don't want to ever lose that touch to be like, I can always know what the crowd wants and know the newest to the oldest to like, what's the old shit that young motherfuckers know? I want to know every fucking song, and it's like sometimes like. It's hard to let that shit go. That's one of my biggest.
Let me ask you this: how much of the new hip hop are you running in your sets?
I mean, there's just not much. Like, look, in EDM, like in an open format room, right? Like tech house, there's millions of thousands of songs coming out with tech house. How many of those are hitting in an open format room? Just about almost as many as hip hop, to me.
You think so?
In my opinion, yes. In like an actual open format room. Yeah. Like I could play Mason Tinashe disco lines. Mm-hmm. Are they going to all know like Paza, or are they going to know like the new Chris Lake?
Yeah.
They're not. Like some of them might recognize Toxic, but they're not going to know everything, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's like all of these. It's just maybe the crowd not being as receptive to new music, which is why there's an overload of remixes in like dance music, right?
Mm-hmm. Fair.
And everyone's talking about there's no original music in dance music that's really resonating with crowds. With hip hop, it depends on like, if I'm in New York and I'm DJing, there's a handful of New York joints that go off. But like if I go to Cali, there's probably like they're still holding on to a lot of hip hop shit.
Yeah.
And if you go down south, it's gonna be like a lot of hip hop shit. So it's like it really, and that's the thing is like every room I'm going in, I'm almost a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right?
Yeah, I was the same way. Yeah.
But and it's kind of like, you get a chameleon and it's just kind of like trying to read the room like, oh, okay, this is the type of crowd I have here tonight.
Do you ever feel like you're falling out of love with the music as you get older? I remember being young and looking at like the older DJs are like, you guys don't have it anymore because you guys are so out of touch with the music. Right. And I was like, I'm never going to be that guy. I'm always going to be like the guy who's dialed into the culture and dialed in, and like, I think it hit me this past year when I went to like some party, this guy threw at Prism, and it was like a hip hop party and whatever. And I'm watching this young hip hop DJ, this new guy coming up, and like he's just playing, and for like maybe about 30, 40 minutes, I didn't know one fucking song.
Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know one fucking hip hop song he played. I think the only one I knew was like the Cash Cobain Fisher. That's
Yeah.
the only one that I kind of knew. And that
For sure, yeah.
And
Was he crushing? Did the room know?
oh,
that?
the room knew everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody was rapping everything. I felt like weird. I was like, dog, it was a wake up call.
I felt that in Texas. I was in Dallas, and the guy before me was just hitting all the hip hop.
I'm just like,
They're
what?
new, and they all knew this shit.
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you don't have those moments, or you don't feel that? Are you still pretty in tune with everything?
I'm fairly in tune with everything, but it is getting confusing, you know, because there's like certain hip hop songs are hitting in certain cities, and certain house songs or EDM songs are hitting in certain cities, and then there's more pop, there's more crossover, there's more edits, there's like every different city is different.
Yeah.
But what happens is you start forming a style, right, and your own voice when you're putting all these records together as an open format DJ,
Right.
and that's really the statement when you hear me play. It's like, oh, Crooked's doing it this way, right?
So like I would actually, like you're one of my favorite DJs of all time. I've always like, seriously. Like, I mean, like I've been. I mean, honestly, dog, like, I've been.
That's why I have him.
That's why
no,
we have
Wow.
him. We
No,
have
but
him
I
on
mean-
a bi-yearly basis here.
We're clipping that, right? That's
we're
a reel.
clipping that.
No, but
That's the
honestly,
only
Call
IG reel.
in, call in, make sure you make him
when
look
we
amazing.
walked in here, you were like, I'm trying to do everything in my own town, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. When we walked in, like I'm trying to build this thing where I can stay here.
To explain that, I'm in New York, I'm in Vegas, I'm in Cali.
Yeah.
I'm like in different cities every weekend,
Yeah.
and I'm doing the podcast in New York,
Yeah.
the podcast in Vegas, obviously, the podcast in LA, but then I'm DJing here.
Yeah.
And I said my dream would to be in one city doing all the things that I love and
Yeah.
having all these projects and DJing in one city.
Yeah.
And just that everything encompassing everything I want in one city.
So my thing, what you just said, it seems to me like it would be easy for you with the skill set that you have and the thing that you have to migrate into that thing where I'm not going to a party at Marquee, I'm going to a DJ Crooked party. Do you understand what I'm
Right,
saying
right.
by that? So it's like when you have the constant challenge of showing up at a new place, and like, you know, we're on chains of WhatsApp with a million different DJs, and people are like, hey man, I'm playing in England, you know, I'm playing in London tonight. Does anybody have any songs that are hitting here? Bro, that's so stressful. That's so stressful to have to keep going back to the well and drawing new water every single time you pop up in a new city. And so part of what we were talking about being an artist is when we play this set tonight and you come see us in LA, you're gonna hear the same shit. You know what I mean? We're not taking you from one state to another state. This is the state.
This
You
is
know
the
what I mean?
lane, yeah.
Yeah, this is where you're coming to see this, right? So it's like there's stuff that's added and taken away and done differently or whatever, and it's not like the same repeated show over and over again.
Yeah.
But like when you go to any kind of brand, right? Like if I pop up at Ralph Lauren, I know what I'm getting. Some like shit that the old white people wear on a boat. You know what I mean? When I go to Nike, I know what I'm getting. But DJs don't treat themselves like a brand like that. You try and fit a key. You got a whole janitor like set of keys on the side of you, and every time you
Right.
go to, you're opening it up, with checking your keys, like which one of these is going to open the door? It's like, yo, I am the door. Every city I show up, I'm the door, right? Same key, same door. You want to see it or not? You understand what I'm saying? Like if you want some open format, to me is one of those infectious DJ terms that have like generated since AM. Like nobody called people
Since
open
like the
format.
2010s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like you open format. Like what is that? You know what I'm
It's
saying?
their
Like,
way of saying hip hop without saying hip hop.
I know, but nobody really describes.
After the EDM boom, it
Yeah.
was like, we want to play hip hop. Let's call it open format.
Yeah,
That's what
and
it
I
was.
guess I think that most people that call themselves open format DJs, like less than 50%, like less than 50% of the music that they're playing.
Yeah.
You're forced into a position to play something that you don't like because people like it. And I've never done that. Like
it's the most selfless job, right? For a DJ.
Yeah, but
is
that's
to
what
be an open format DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I think when you get some of that fatigue and you get some of that thing like, oh shit, I just had to play Check West and everything around it for an hour and a half at this place, and you leave and you're like, God damn, I'm tired. You're tired because you were doing something you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like of course, the experience of playing for people and getting people excited, that's that's the layer that gets you hype and makes you want to go do it again the next day. I gave people an experience and a good time. But what sacrifice to yourself and your own image and your own brand are you going so far out on a limb on the tree that you forgot where the trunk of the tree was?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I really think that the answer to people becoming better DJs and better brand marketing is really understanding themselves and like what they want to do. And enjoying what they want to do. Because I'm telling you, when I walked in, like Jamie was saying earlier, like I walked in there and I was like, fuck yes. I swear to God, like I didn't even approach him until I heard 4 or 5 songs in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like I was over there in the corner with a Manhattan or something, you know, chilling out, you know, Googling whatever was going on in the club, seeing people or whatever, blah, blah. And then I knew he was playing, you know what I'm saying? And I heard him play like 6 bangers in a row that like if you took out of that room, particularly into another space, you probably wouldn't even be able to play those songs. So it's not about it's making the room your own. You don't have there's no Yelp for like, when I pop up in the city and I'm like, yo, I want to hear hip hop or I want to hear whatever. You can't like Yelp, where's the hip hop club? When you do, you don't know who's playing there or what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think the evolution of the DJ like is going back to the point when you showed up to see Cashmere or Green Velvet at a club, you knew what you were getting, and that's what it was. You understand what I'm saying? Like I want that to be the new norm.
So that's your goal.
That is the goal. I think it should be the goal for every DJ who takes himself seriously.
Right.
Like to stop being a jukebox.
You've been in like the producer's chair, songwriter's chair. You've been like doing events.
Sure.
You know, like you're curating like studios for like the W Hotel.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
We used the one in LA.
Nice.
But it's like, you know, it feels like you're kind of sitting back in the DJ chair right now.
No, it's not. It's all part of the same pool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you really
from your perspective, it's all the same.
My personal perspective is like if I'm programming music, well, when I was a music director for the W, right?
Right.
It wasn't just about, hey, I'm going to pick a big list of songs that I think is going to work out in the lobby of this hotel. It's like, why are they working? What does it look like when people are walking in? How do you want them to feel? Like, what is the music you're going to play? Thing. Whether they know what they want to feel or the owner knows what they want to feel. I've been standing behind a set of turntables since I was 17 years old. I can immediately tell what either people want, what I want to give them, and what's the middle ground in that, so I don't lose what I'm doing. So when people ask me to do these things, I approach it the exact same way as I'm DJing, right? It's like you walk in and you say, even if it has nothing to do with music, it's like, what do I want to do? What do I want to show? How do I want to build this thing? Like it's more of like a creative energy than it is anything about music.
I'll take that answer, but it is a little bit different because you are committing to a Friday and a Saturday in the same city at one venue. You know, that's a different approach.
No, it is a different approach, but it's not an untested space cadet approach. I mean, it works. It has worked. It does different stuff or whatever. And so what I'm saying is that like there's over the time history is. I mean, AM, before, he had a program that he played before it got bigger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's everything generates from one place, right? It's like, if you want a giant plant, you got to buy a giant pot to put the dirt in, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever. So you got to try out a bunch of stuff and eventually understand what things are and build that thing like a business, right? But it's all the same approach that I've been talking about the whole time. Staying true to yourself. If I have a hotel that hires me to do the music in the hotel, and then they send me a list immediately of what they think, I'm like, we're not doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't hire a mechanic to work on your fucking car and stand over him the whole time and say, hey, is that a carburetor or whatever? It's like you hire a mechanic because they know what they're doing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But you have to have the confidence in the background to do that over and over and over again successfully before people will take you seriously. And the way you do that is to do it.
Yeah.
If you continue to flutter around and like try a bunch of different stuff and do a bunch of things and fit in for what people want you to fit in, then there's 85,000 other people that can do that job. You understand what I'm saying?
So is there any element of fear that you have about this new venture for you and the crew?
No.
No?
I haven't been afraid since I moved out of Detroit.
What about you, Heavy?
Honestly, dude, you hear how he talks?
Yeah.
I have no fear going into this, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Paul's proven, you know? I mean, like, I've seen what he's done, and like when he talks, it's a motivational fucking speech, though. Like, I feel like I could do like 10 push-ups right now in front of you guys. Like, it's like he the way he talks and the way he presents these ideas and these things to me and to everybody, like, it's very passionate, and you can hear it in his voice, and it's very sincere, and it comes from a good place, you know. So like it was a little bit of a pushback, but not too much of like when he said, I need you to give everything up and trust and believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if you follow these things, I'll take you to the promised land.
But we check in too, dog. It's not like I'm just like, hey guys, you know, I'm, you know, cult leader here, and you just we like actually we talk almost every day,
Yeah.
Right.
All the time.
like, yo, what do you think about this? Like, how is this working out for you? How are your, you know, when we were talking this morning, it was like checking in with like, he said, this is the first time I played in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, so when we were coming out here, I'm like, yo, whatever. It's
Long
fucking Vegas.
overdue, man.
Congrats, bro.
No, but it's like, yo, that is kind of like taking somebody to a new city. If I've never been to New York before and you take me to New York, you get excited about New York again because you're telling me where things are. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's like a great way to live life, to be able to pass on information and show new things and say, hey, you might have a reservation about this, but I've watched this fail and succeed all these times. So let's try it this way. And after we've tried it, let's check back in with our, you know, program and our feelings and like move to the next step.
The great thing about what you guys are doing is two things that I've been noticing in the past couple of years that DJs have been doing. I've been noticing it. When DJs work together, they rarely fail.
Yeah.
Like when DJs actually work together selflessly with no ego,
Zero
and they
ego.
put something together on a project, they rarely fucking fail. And another thing that I've been noticing that's been really great is when an older DJ pairs up and works with a younger DJ, there's a level of experience and there's a level of like freedom, because the younger DJs, they don't have this like past history of like all this like this, you know, like all these failed dreams, you know, like all these like failed dreams. So there's like an open freedom of like, wait, like why can't we do this? Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
And then the older DJ is like, you know what, like I don't know, like it's always been like this.
It's not gonna work, kid.
It's just great combination that happens.
That happens with me and you a lot.
I'm just like, no, you can't do that shit.
Yeah, we can. Let's fucking go.
But yeah, I really love this. You know what you guys are doing in Heavy. You know, for me, I really relate to you a lot because I feel like you're one of those great DJs, and I go around the country and I see so many great DJs
Thank you, man.
who don't get highlighted.
Yeah.
Who work at venues that don't appreciate them.
Yeah.
Who are like, to me, are the heroes of these venues, and these venues don't realize it, you know, and they don't fucking understand it. They don't see it, you know.
When I was telling a lot of the venues that I was leaving, there was a few that almost all of a sudden, oh, we have an extra $300 in the budget to give you. And I'm just like,
Look what I found.
oh, look at that. You
And
just
did
found-
I not tell you that was going to
Yeah,
happen?
and immediately that's one of the things, you know, Paul was like, yo, once you tell them, watch the price go up.
Yeah.
Right.
And it happened immediately. And so that just lets you know, like, you know,
And it's just like, why give a motherfucker like you this stress? Why toy and manipulate someone with this pay when you have 2 kids, you're married, you're a good dude, you're a fucking soldier for the clubs, you fucking work for them, and you do all this shit.
It's not
you know?
just that. This is the guy that you're putting in charge of making people happy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Crucial.
This is the dude
Yeah.
who is the centerpiece of your entire product. Every DJ who's listening to this needs to realize that they are the centerpiece of the entire product.
Some of them, yeah.
No, well, if they're not,
Some of them.
if they're not, they should be. They should aspire to that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you have that kind of mentality and know what you're worth and know what your product is and know what your brand is and continue to work on that. And sure, man, they can tell you like, yeah, we don't have a budget. Give me a fucking break, dog. We know how much money these places make. You understand what I'm saying? And because I know how much people were getting paid before the pandemic and how much they're getting paid after the pandemic.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's money there.
After this episode, so many DJs are gonna quit. It's
Yeah.
like, see if we can get the bag.
But you know what? I really do think when DJs start to curate their own parties, I don't know why venues don't take the DJs who are their residents, who have been residents for years and years, who know that fucking room. I don't know why they don't work with them to become music directors of those venues.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't fucking understand
make
it.
sense.
Then they hire some person to do the bookings that is never in the club. They never step foot in there. They don't know the history of Vegas or that room or whatever fucking city it is. And it's like, why don't you just go to the DJs or the residents that were there and offer them those positions, or at least, you know, start showing them a little bit of some shit like for like behind the scenes to be like, look, you can maybe kind of pivot to something more behind the scenes and we can show you how to do that shit. But they don't do that no more. And I think it's just one of those things that really like, I'm just bewildered by it.
Yeah.
And then you see the effects of it. You're like, well, like yo, the attendance is down, or like, you know, everyone's leaving a little early. It's like, well, this is all cause and effect.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't make sense. You don't have anyone in the room that's actually curating the room.
No, because you got guys that come in and, like you said, 3 DJs in one night, and everybody's playing A ladies. You know, every single DJ has that in their lineup, so you're hearing that 3 times a fucking night.
I had a residency at maybe one of the biggest clubs in Vegas, and I actually, when I left my last management, I knew I was going to lose that, and it's one of those things that people don't want to lose. Right. They don't want to lose that. Yo, I'm a resident at these venues and this nightlife crew.
Yeah.
But I started seeing that like no one cared when I did a good job.
Right.
No.
Like it's so fucking weird.
It's
worse.
It's the
Only
worst
you
feeling.
care.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
It's the worst feeling.
it's like, oh, like, you know, the staff comes up like, yo, like we fucking stayed up whooping late. Like this, you know, this DJ came in and it cleared early last week. And then it's not even about the money, but the person booking me, no one gave a fuck. And I just started saying like, you know, it's only a matter of time before I get phased out anyway, because I see where they're putting more attention to.
Sure.
So then I was like, I can lose this gig because I'd rather just go where I'm valued. And then people are like, well, you know, how are you going to lose that venue? And I'm like, it's inevitable. And I'd rather work with people that value me, and I'll work hard for them, and they'll see, they'll be like, yo, man, you killed it tonight. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's literally my main thing when I left that. I was like, I'm just going to go where I'm valued. But it really breaks my heart heavy that when you tell me things, when I hear things like, you're going to quit DJing, that really breaks my fucking heart, man.
Dog. It was bad.
So what's your goal? Is your goal with this whole disconnect, is it to fall in love with DJing and to take care of your family with this shit as well?
To take care of my family, man. That's the goal, man. You know, like I love music so much, and I love making people dance. You know, I didn't get into DJing when it was like cool. I got into DJing because I love music.
Right.
I was the guy carrying records. You know, like I think anybody here that carried records, you knew it was a pain in the fucking ass to carry those records, and you did it because you loved music and you loved to make people dance. So like I'm loving it now. Like even Strategy, it's like he's never played for a dance floor, and it's like I'm playing for a dance floor again, like a real dance floor, and it's fun, and I'm falling in love with it. And like I told you, I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my life DJing, and that's the goal, is to translate that fun and that feeling into dollars. That's it.
But again, when I tell you that the first conversation we had was, what are you doing? Like, what is your salary a year? How much are you working? What is the process of your night? How many different places do you have to go to earn that amount of money?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't want to be crass, but like nobody's trying to you can't be innovative if you're fearful. Right? So if you're worried about losing the next job, you're worried about like what your time looks like with your kids, you're worried about like what it is, you got no space in your brain to really take advantage of all the neurons that could create greatness.
Survival
because you're
mode.
just worried about the basics, right? Whatever that triangle is that like gets you to the next spot, if you're not taken care of on the bottom level of the triangle, there's no way to get to the next level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, for me personally, you know, I came up in a different era, right? Like, so it wasn't the same kind of thing. But like for me personally, what I'm watching is like a lot of people that have access to stuff that's like, you know, you can download any song you want, you can put it on a stick, you can walk in, you can push the sync button, you don't really have to learn what the keys are because they're already right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. So there's a lower bar for entry, which creates a flooded market, which then people are looking for the cheapest thing that they can do in that particular thing. And again, I'll go back to the pendulum thing. When you have somebody like Heavy, who's then thrown into that, by people that don't understand the difference between one or the other. You're thrown into this mix. He's then fighting just to accomplish the bottom level. So when you take the bottom level away, you're then free to become whatever the next evolution of yourself is, which in itself is exciting. And even like the idea of like when you say, what are you scared about? If you're continually climbing the ladder and not looking back down, you can climb fucking forever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you can climb up the side of an Empire State Building. You know what I mean? If you're not turning around and worried about the ladder's going to hold. Yeah, you know
is that
I mean?
how you feel, Heavy? You feel
After
like
100,
You feel like a butterfly now.
I feel like a peacock rising from the ashes.
Phoenix.
No, I mean, it's to echo what Strategy has said earlier, man. Like, you know, even if this all ends tomorrow, let's say Paul says, you know what, I'm gonna go on tour and I'm leaving you guys, figure it out. I think now, like, my brain is like wired differently.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go back to just going back to the clubs and just being the worker now.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, okay, how can I take what this guy gave me, these lessons, and apply it, even if it's disco, even I love disco. So I want it to be disco, right? But like, let's say it's something else. I got to pivot. I know now from what he's told me, you know, to move forward and act accordingly. I think one of the first breakfasts we had, we sat down and he was like, I need you guys to stop thinking like DJs and start thinking more like artists.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me so fucking hard, you know?
That seems like the whole mindset shift for this entire project, right?
It's shifted everything.
I think the biggest problem that you guys are actually going to have is maintaining the integrity of this as it blows up, because you are building something that's like honest and real and people need that. You guys are going to then all of a sudden like have like
They're going to become kind music.
No, the influencer. No, I'm like seriously. Like I think like because of this like relentless passion that you're pursuing this with, people are going to be like, the vultures are going to show up and be like, oh, we want to take some of that.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, dog. That's what Crooked was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
If you don't think I've seen that process happen 55,000 times where I can smell it from like 50 miles away, if that was happening in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now, I'd know what was going on.
Yeah, let's go kill someone. The way you're looking in my eye, man, let's go do it. I'm down.
But honestly, like that's part of like the strength that I bring to this whole thing, right? Like it's like I'm not going to tell you I'm a worse DJ than either one of these guys anymore because of what Crooked was talking about earlier. I'm not in the club like that. You know what I mean? I know what works and what doesn't, but that's why I'm saying we have constant conversations where they might play me something. I'm like, this is trash, but like they're like, this part is dope. And so we take that part, we turn it into something new that fits into the thing, blah, blah, blah. Like that applies there, but it also applies in business. I promise you all my life, sitting here dead ass right in the eyes, this will never turn into climb music. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm never, you know, we might play in Saint-Tropez. I might have a towel over my head with the hat on or whatever. but like, I'm not
it'll
trying.
Still be you.
No, yeah, dog. I'm not trying to like, you know, no offense, but like, I'm not in this to be at Kylie Jenner's like next party. You know what I mean? I don't need anything.
This is for
point.
you.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make art and have that art proliferate into the universe. That's it. And if you do that, if you stick to that, and I think that this is something that people don't see, because there's been many times in my life where I've taken a turn, I should try and do this, blah, blah, and it wasn't genuine. It never works. It never works. It might work for like 2 seconds and people are like, oh shit. But like, if you listen to like the body of work that I've put together, there's a through line through it all. You know what I'm saying? And there's been many times, many times where somebody from a label will come up and be like, yo, we got this project and we want you to do it. Here's a check. And it's really hard to turn down that check. Like really, really hard to turn down that check. But more often than not, I find myself like what Crooked was saying, like I'll take a job for $1,000 to produce some artist that, you know what I mean? 20 years ago, I would have made $150,000. You know what I'm saying? But I take it because I believe in the thing. I believe in these guys. The pot that we've planted in is so strong and so genuine and has, you know, no grinder, but like a lot of love between three dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe a little grinder. You know?
Strong
But like,
threesome,
but
strong
like,
threesome.
but what I'm
business and
saying
pleasure.
is, what I'm saying is that like when you approach things, it's very difficult. Part of being smart about what you say yes to is also being smart about what you say no to. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know when to say, listen for me right now, even though like you know, I don't want to call out names, but there was a point in my career where a very big person from a very big label was like, we want you to do this because look, it's working here and it's working here and it's working here, right? And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be 70 years old carrying my grandkid around a fucking supermarket buying melons and I want to hear this kind of music and people are affiliated with something I did in my life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Can't believe you told. I'll bleep that name out.
That's so funny.
That's wild.
It got really quiet.
That dude is the best music executive I've ever seen in my entire life. He's a fucking genius. Like I've never seen somebody be able to operate in a way that dude operates and connect with people and be able to realize what that person's potential is and give it to them and have it come to fruition. I've watched that dude do shit where I'm like, holy fucking balls, that's unbelievable that you got from here to there in this short of amount of time with that idea.
I mean, not to go too far, but Gaga's a product of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, listen, you know, not to get too much into, you know, other people's shit, but like at the end of the day, every sheep needs a shepherd. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and you have to know you're a sheep at a point till you become a shepherd. Like I've been a sheep for a really long time and been a shepherd and back to a sheep, but like with zero ego and understanding exactly what it was. And that's something that people need to understand when it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and also be able to know when they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like for someone like Gaga or someone like Katy Perry or someone like Kesha or like somebody like whoever, there's always somebody like, hey, this is what you're great at and here's where we should focus and here's where we should grow.
Yeah.
The best achievers are the best listeners and the best processors. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we got into this, there was a full capability that I was like, hey man, I got this idea. And these two dudes were going to be like, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Because that's just stupid. But it didn't happen that way because we've had like a substantial amount of conversations around like how this was going to work and what we thought it was going to be.
But that's so important to have a safe kind of room for everyone to just speak openly and just be egoless.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest problems with DJs. It's like too much ego.
But that also comes from like a fear.
Right.
Yeah.
That is, all of these things that we're talking about that go sideways or wrong all have to do with fear-based responses and emotions. People are afraid to do something. People want to show off what they got when they don't really have it. They're posting stuff that like is not real in any sense of the form.
Sure,
And then you see them and you're like, wait a minute, dog. Like this isn't matching up. This is incongruent, right? That never wins, you know? And when you know, Peds is sitting in the room over here. When we got done with Lollapalooza, he was like, tell me if I'm wrong. Just throw up a fucking middle finger if I'm lying. But he got through with this Lollapalooza thing and met with a bunch of people and talked with these ideas with the people, blah, blah, blah. And he came to me and said, I met with 45 people and none of them had a bad word to say about you. And I said, you know why that is? Because I don't always succeed at being a good guy. But that is my guiding principle in life, right? If I got to be a bad guy to do something, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I'm
I'm not going to leave person X with a bad feeling because person X at stage 2 is very quickly person X at stage 8. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like you go through life and you show up, you do what you say you're going to do, you come up with innovative stuff, you try it, you with honesty and integrity, and you try and try again until something sticks. You know what I mean? We talked about this the last time when we were talking about the Gaga stuff, and you were like, oh, you know, you came out of nowhere when like all of a sudden you're producing the stuff for Lady Gaga. That's what the viewpoint is to an outsider, because I never sat around all day long and be like, look at this shit I'm producing. Like I'm doing this, but I will show you my artist pass from the first DEMF. You understand what I'm saying? I will show you discs when I was 17 years old. I'll show you my Gemini sampler with 4 16-bit. You know what I'm saying?
I got that one. I got that one too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's like there's a lot of hard work and people that run around telling everybody what they do and how they do it and blah blah. That's an immediate turnoff for me because 90% of the time it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like stay humble, do your thing, fucking work with other people. Try this thing for me is when I hear this the same way you're hearing it. How joyful and exciting is that? that somebody who's so good at DJing, somebody who was having a miserable time at where they were at, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey man, if you just breathe differently, move differently, just adjust, this is gonna happen. And it happens in steps, and every step along the way you're able to check in and see that it's happening.
Yeah.
Man, for me personally, I don't give a fuck if I make $1 off this thing. To watch these two dudes grow and be able to take care of their families and have success in their music and their art and their lives, bro, like how much money was that worth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, White Shadow, Strategy, Heavy, I wish y'all all the best. I want to see y'all tonight. We're gonna go. We're gonna try to go. All
You guys
of
gonna
us.
come out and ring the cowbell?
We're gonna come check you. I've been meaning to check Lima's party, and I'm embarrassed to say I should have been there sooner, and this will be my first time going to the library. But I'm gonna check y'all tonight. But I wish y'all nothing but the best, and I love what you're doing here, and I hope it inspires a bunch of other DJs to kind of take the leap. If they're good enough to take the leap and do it, you know what I mean?
Not for nothing either. I think you guys are geniuses, and this podcast is like, I listen to it all the time.
Thank you.
Honestly,
you did bring it up to me last time I saw you.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think what you're doing here is like important, and it's an important thing, man. Like this career as a DJ, like nowadays especially, you can decide in 2 minutes that you're going to be a DJ, and in 5 minutes you're actually playing records somewhere, right? Like it's not the same as it used to be. So I think that like the context that you continue to provide and the conversations you continue to have for people that actually care, like you said earlier, there's a lot of shit DJs that listen to this thing, and there's a lot of really great DJs that listen to this thing, but like the shit DJs have something to hear.
Right.
I mean, who I don't know about you, but like I didn't have anybody to tell me how to DJ or how to do what it was. Like, I saw Stretch Armstrong on MTV, and I was like, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
That's true.
For real. Like, but I couldn't like call somebody and be like, hey man, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
These conversations that we have are extraordinary for these guys. I just never had that. So as part of like your legacy as being great DJs, like to give this back is like completely insane. I just think it's wonderful and awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
We
it.
might cut that out, but we might.
Yeah, I might clip that.
Crooked hates shit like that.
He had a hard time.
Never been
Emotional
more
damage.
uncomfortable.
But no, seriously, I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to everything. Thanks for coming through.
Much success.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for
And
having us.
I appreciate it. And then Strategy, I've been owing you apologize. I've apologized before, but I felt so bad that time in Houston. It was like I lost my fucking charger. He had to like drive back to his crib, get another charger, and I was DJing off his laptop, and then I was sick, and then I couldn't do his podcast, but I apologize.
We
I'm
owe
sorry
you an
for that.
episode,
Yeah,
buddy.
man.
It's
If
all good.
If it's not
Yeah.
him, it's me. I got you.
It's all good.
You guys come to Chicago often?
No.
No,
It's one of my
We gotta
favorite
make it
cities.
out there though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
One of my
maybe when my boy Mom was doing Everyday People out there, he said it's crazy.
They
Yeah.
just did it.
Yeah, it's just fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So I got to come out for that.
I want to
shit.
try the Mexican food in Chicago here. It's really, really good.
It is.
Better than California.
Don't go that far, bro.
Shit, dog. Hot take.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
West side of Chicago, right? Is West side? That's like the Latin side, the Spanish.
Depends
side?
on how far west you go. You don't want to go too far.
You end up in Wisconsin, bro, and then
No.
it's a whole other situation.
West side of Chicago is an interesting place.
Wow, that's what.
Out west.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yo, Strategy, White Shadow, Heavy, Disco-nect. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thanks, Crook.
Appreciate
Thanks for
Thank you,
having
guys.
us, bro.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.